All right. All right, everyone. We're gonna start soon. Hold on. Trying to get it. All right. What's up, everybody? Hello, everybody that you just now tuning in. Think we only got two, maybe one person in here so far. So good morning. That is a long script, but not at the same time. Which I'll explain why here in a few minutes whenever we get more people in here. Why this script is a little bit more shorter today. But yep, good morning to everybody that's just now tuning in. How was everybody's week? What's everybody been up to this weekend? Well, the beginning of this weekend, which was just yesterday. Happy Saturday, everybody. Ugh. My week was very, very tiring. I mean, I worked obviously all this week. But I wasn't really like outside or doing too much. I was really just riding around. Like I got a lot of windshield time this week, which means I was just driving around basically in the company truck and shit like that. Going to different job sites and mapping everything out and getting everything ready for next week for all the jobs that we're gonna work on then. So that's pretty much all of what I was doing this week at work. So I was just driving around a lot, 2-hour drives, 3-hour drives here and there. It was pretty crazy. But I did have a good week though. I went to Spirit Halloween this week. I got my costume for Halloween. 'Cause I'm having a Halloween party this year. So I got my Halloween costume this year. I went to Spirit Halloween. Let me tell you something, that place is packed. Honestly, I don't even think I'm gonna next year, I think I'm done with Halloween stores. Like if I'm gonna go anywhere to get like any costumes or anything like that. What's up, Hunter? Welcome to the stream. How's everybody doing? Welcome to all the new faces that are just now tuning in. But yeah, no, I think next year I'm done with Spirit Halloween or any Halloween store for that matter. I'm gonna just go to Amazon or I'll buy masks off of Trick or Treat Studios because there ain't no point of going into Spirit Halloween anymore. I'm being dead serious. There ain't no reason to go into Spirit Halloween. I went in there um this weekend and man, it was just it it was so packed. Nice. I'm dressing up as Steven from Blue's Clues and my daughter is going as Magnet. Oh, that's cool. Steve from Blue's Clues. That's a cool costume. I don't think I've seen that a lot actually. I don't think I've seen that before in my life. So that's pretty rare. Welcome Antonio. Welcome everybody to the stream. Well, anyways, I hope you and your daughter have a nice time this Halloween. Hope everybody has a good Halloween. I think we'll have one more episode of the grading show before Halloween, I believe. I don't know. I haven't looked at my calendar this week. Corey says thank you. You're welcome. No problem, Corey. My costume is expensive. Yeah, no, mine too, especially for what I wanna go as. I mean, what I'm going as, I've gone a lot as before, but, like, there's different variations that you can do, so that's what I'm doing. William Polino says, "What's good? What's up? What's up, William?" But, yeah, my costume, there's so many variations of them, so that's why I'm just going as a different variation, so I'm not going as the same variation I went as, like, before, but I'm basically gonna be, like, the same person, so but my costume was a little pricey. But aren't all the costumes now, especially if you're going on like Spirit Halloween, that place is so expensive. And like I said, it was packed. I don't think I'm going Spirit Halloween next year for Halloween. I gotta tell you. Like I said, I'll go to Amazon or Trick or Treat Studios or order off online if I need anything because I mean, I already know everything's gonna be expensive. You know what I mean? Regardless of shopping online or at Trick or Treat Studios at Spirit Halloween. But at least whenever I'm shopping online, I don't gotta worry about like being shoulder to shoulder with people. You know what I mean? Like I get it, it's gonna be busy, but oh my God, there are just so many people, man. It was so packed. It was so packed. Antonio, what's up, Antonio? But yeah, no, I really don't think today's my birthday. Happy birthday to Antonio, everybody. Everybody wish Antonio happy birthday. I hope you have a great day today. But yeah, no, Spirit Halloween is just too packed. I'm not going there next year. You can kiss my ass. I ain't going there next year. Honestly though, with all the online shopping and stuff that's like been implemented throughout the years, and like all the ways we have to shop now, I'm surprised B-Day bong rips. That's the best way to celebrate it right there. That's how I celebrate my birthdays. I'm not gonna even lie to you guys. I don't condone anything. I don't condone anything, but I'm just saying that's what I do on my birthday. I did that last year. Or I did that this year because my birthday was this month actually on the 13th. Think I mentioned that in a later episode, which, by the way, for those of you guys that are new here and want to know more about the show, if you would like to go watch previous episodes or just watch snippets of our previous episodes, you don't got to watch the whole thing, but just so that way you can get a feel for what the show is about and what we do here and what we talk about, I highly suggest you go check out the playlist section on my channel. The playlist section labeled the grading show, and it has all the episodes there. So if you guys want to go watch previous episodes, you're more than welcome to. Like I said, you're not forced to, but you're more than welcome to if you want to get all caught up and more for a feel of what the episode's about or what the show's about. But yeah, no, I'm surprised Spirit Halloween is still in business. A lot of Halloween stores. I mean, I guess for decorations and stuff like that, which they even sell like decorations at Home Depot and stuff. But like I said, most of that stuff is pricey for a good reason too. All right. See what everybody's saying before we start officially. Make sure I read everybody's comments. Yeah, I think I got all of them. I want to say I got all y'all's comments. If I missed anything, let me know. I apologize if I do. Sometimes I can get sidetracked. All right. But yeah, how was everybody's morning? How is everybody's morning going so far? How was everybody's week? Like I said, my week was okay. I just worked a lot of driving, so much driving. I'm tired of driving. I don't want to drive anymore. But the thing is, I'm not driving. I'm really just sitting there. It's my it's the master electrician that's driving because I'm the apprentice. So I'm just sitting in the passenger seat. I'm not really driving, but sitting there after a while does kind of get a little, you know, tiring. But yeah. Anyways, moving on. Today's date is October 25th, 2025, 10/25/25. Actually looks pretty cool as a date. Um, the time is currently 8:34 in the morning, Eastern Standard Time, currently where I'm located here in Tampa, Florida. Um, yeah, so let's see. Is there any updates that I got? Let me see any updates we have coming. Oh, by the way, we officially have hit 200 subscribers, so I want to go ahead and thank you guys for the 200 subscriber mark that we have officially hit. That means a lot, and I couldn't do this, guys, or I couldn't do this without you guys. So thank you guys for subscribing. Thank you guys for showing support to the channel, and I hope it just continues. I hope everybody that's tuning in now can drop a like in if you like the content that you see here. Like I said, maybe you need to take a little bit before you subscribe, which is completely fine. But if you do end up subscribing, it does help me out and the channel out a lot. Like I said before in past episodes, here we're just trying to grow the channel. We're just trying to grow this community and the show. You know what I mean? We're just trying to grow this community, not asking for anything too big or like nothing like that. But you know what I mean? We just something to come on to and talk to and engaged with. I think it's nice. So yeah. Moving on. No Through Road 5 script. Remember, you guys, we have an event planned for Halloween um of this year, obviously. I'm going to reveal the official No Through Roads 5 script, which is fan made by me, by the way. This isn't by the original makers. I just want everybody to understand that this is not written and has really nothing to do with the original creators. This is just my script on what I would do. But if in the future this does become a thing, which I would love for it to, you know what I mean? But if this does get, the attention that I want or the hype that I want, or people really like this idea. So far, like people really are liking this idea, then maybe we can turn this into a short, little film thing on YouTube, you know what I mean, where we can have no through row fives take place. If we were to do that, I've said this before in the past episode where I revealed it. I would love to get the original creators involved somehow, some way. Um, if it isn't possible, then we would just have to go another route and try something different. Um, which would be a little messy because we would have to get, different actors and stuff like that, which it would be a little hard, which is just gonna be a little annoying for the original people because, they watching it to expect a continuation of another story, which it does, by the way. So, but we'll get there when we get there. We'll have more on that later when we get to the end of this episode. I'll talk a little bit more about that because there's more we gotta go over regarding the No Through Row 5 script. So yeah, again, the event is going to be on Halloween. I don't know if it's going to be on Halloween night or the day after Halloween, but it is going to take place around there, and we're going to read the script here live. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Wait for more people to get in here. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to start. I'm going to start with question of the day. So today, this question of the day is. And this could be from any genre. It could be classical, it could be punk, it could be heavy metal, it could be any type that you want. But I want to know, what is your top 5 rock bands? And this question of the day was requested by Olivia, my sister, who occasionally tunes onto the channel to watch these episodes. Big supporters of the channel, her and her kids, my nephew and niece. So I do appreciate them. So I want to say shout out to Olivia for requesting question of the day, which is, again, I repeat, question of the day is, what is your top 5 rock bands? I don't know if I said albums in the beginning. I didn't mean to say albums, but what is your top 5 rock bands? Again, it could be classical rock, it could be heavy metal rock, it could be punk rock. It doesn't matter what kind of rock. You can mix match them. It doesn't matter. I just want to know what your top 5 rock bands are, and then I'm going to share mine with you. Um, for the people that tune on in later, I will repeat question of the day going forward with these episodes, so that way everybody gets a chance to answer on question of the day. So yeah, question of the day. What is your top 5 rock bands? I'm gonna go ahead and share mine shortly. I'm gonna go ahead and let everybody get in here and share their answers. I'm gonna give everybody a little bit of time, and then I'm gonna go ahead and share my top 5 rock bands with you guys. Not the 3 days grace. You gotta have 5. You can't just say 1. What's your other 4? We'll put 3 days grace with Adam, and then we gotta have 4 more. Because I know who you are, and I know what era of 3 days grace you like. I know it's with Adam. So again, for people that are just now tuning in, we are talking about your top 5 or rock bands. What are your top 5 rock bands? After I give everybody a chance to share here, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys what my top 5 rock bands are. For anybody that cares, I know there's not people that really don't care, but this is my show, and that's what I'm gonna share. Okay, so moving on, my top 5 rock bands. Here we go. These are in no particular order, by the way. I just kind of have these written down how I have them written down. I didn't put them in order. And again, I've said this before. Last time we did something like this list of mine could always change. This is not always going to be the same list. You could ask me 3 weeks from now. You could ask me tomorrow, and I could say completely five different bands. This is just my top five bands right now, how I feel today going into it. So yeah, like I said, no particular order. Y'all's don't have to be in particular order too. If you guys just want to put down in the comments your top five favorite bands, it doesn't have to be in order. Bass rips. All right, so here we go. I'm starting with number one for my top five rock bands. We have Guns N' Roses. Guns N' Roses. Why am I putting Guns N' Roses in here? Because in my opinion, and anybody can say what they disturb, I tell you, so that's all I can think of. Okay, well, that's not bad. Not a bad list. Not a bad list. And at least 3 days grace with Adam. But yeah, the only reason why I am putting Guns N' Roses in here is because I had a debate with somebody this week about this too, and I really do agree with them. I'm glad somebody else agrees with me, and it's an old head too, so it's not just me saying this stuff, it's somebody else saying this stuff that grew up with this music. But in my opinion, I honestly think Guns N' Roses wrote the best rock album. Like, I feel like out of all the albums that's been released, I feel like Guns N' Roses takes the cake for writing the best rock album, which is Appetite for Destruction. There's no skippable song on that album. There's not a song that gets boring. There's not a song that's overplayed. There's not a song that has, you know what I mean? All the songs match the energy of the album, and I think it's a great album. And I want to say it was their first. I want to say it was their first album or their second album that they came out with. So for that to be their one of their first albums, that's crazy for them to take the cake for one of the best albums out there. And honestly, I don't even think whenever they made that album, what they knew what they were doing. I don't even think they knew what kind of album they were making. But in my opinion, I think is one of the best albums out there, the best album written in rock history. Has to go to Appetite of Destruction from Guns N' Roses. So that's why they're going to go in my top 5, and for this one, I will say they will always stay in my top 5. Guns N' Roses ain't going nowhere, they're always gonna stay in my top 5, okay? If you guys have not listened to their album, Appetite of Destruction, I highly suggest you go and listen to it. You don't even have to listen to the whole album, but maybe just, like, a couple of songs, just so you can get a feel for it. But that is, like, peak Guns N' Roses right there, okay? Take Sweet Child of Mine and Welcome to the Jungle and put them over here, and then put Appetite for Destruction up here. Like, it is just a good album. Everything about that album is good. So, highly suggest that you guys go and listen to Appetite for Destruction. Moving on for my number 2 spot. My number 2 spot is going to go to Pink Floyd. Pink Floyd, classical rock genre, kind of. But I'm putting Pink Floyd in my list because the nostalgia. The nostalgia and kind of like Guns N' Roses, the Wall album, that specific album is just unskippable for me too. Like, I can listen to almost every song on there fully, not get bored, not have a problem, not have to turn off the song. Like, every song on there is amazing, and I like how every song just like has that ending to where it leads into the next song. Like, I always loved that with albums. Like, I know most albums already have that, but for the albums like The Wall that do it so perfectly, I think it's just so amazing, so amazing. And the fact that it came out, way back when in the 60s or 70s or in the 70s, it's just crazy because that album is just so golden, so golden. And nostalgia reasons, you know what I mean? I've talked about this on previous episodes, but my grandfather got me into Pink Floyd when I was a very young boy. So, it just always brings back so much nostalgia listening to Pink Floyd. Like, I can put them on and I just get so many memories to when I was a kid and stuff. And so, like, I love feeling that stuff. So that's why Pink Floyd is going to go in my number 2 spot for my rock bands. Moving on to number 3, and my number 3 spot is actually a little weird because I didn't really know this band until, like, really, like, 4 years ago. I really got into them, but before that, I've only known 1 song by them. I'm pretty much like everybody else, I think, maybe. I'm not calling them a bad band because they're a very good band, so I know there's a lot of fans out there of them too as well, like diehard fans of them, so I'm not saying that they're a bad band or anything like that, or they underperform. But my number 3 spot is going to go to Nine Inch Nails. My number 3 spot is going to go into Nine Inch Nails, and the reason why they are going into my number 3 spot is because I feel like, just from what I could see when they first came out, you had so many other, punk rock. Punk rock was very big around that time. And, you had that, early 2000s rock coming in. So I feel like for them to be able to survive that era and be able to like kind of shift their music to match with the times and stuff like that, I feel like it was very, very good. And I feel like Nine Inch Nails also has a very creative way with their music and their music videos. Like if you watch their music videos, it's just so amazing. Like I feel like a lot goes into not just the music side of their things, but their production side for their music videos. Like if you watch the like I said, like I know everybody like I said, I know everybody knows this song by them, Closer by Nine Inch Nails. But if you watch that music video, it's just a crazy music video. Like so much time went into that music video. And it's just yeah, that's why they're gonna go in my number 3 spot. Nine Inch Nails, my number 3 spot. If you guys want to know what my favorite song is by them, it's The Hand That Feeds. Okay, moving on to my number 4. My number 4 is my all-time favorite band. I've loved them since I got into rock music. I've always loved their music. I'm not saying they're the best, but got another great Van Fleet if you consider it. I think they are rock, maybe. Oh, I don't know. You know what? Greta Van Fleet is not bad. We'll put them in here too. We'll put them in here too. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. That counts. I'll say that counts. Like I said, it could be different. It could be different genres of rock, you know what I mean? There's so much genres of rock now these days, so, like, I feel like you could consider them, somewhat of rock, maybe alternative. Yeah, maybe alt's better to be considered for them, but, I mean, I feel like they're still in that same kind of, you know, wedge, we should say. But anyways, my number 4 is going to go to my all-time favorite rock band, and the craziest band to come out of the '80s, Motley Crue. Motley Crue is going to go in my number 4 spot, um, without a doubt, because every day I'm listening to a Motley Crue song. It doesn't matter what I'm doing, there's always going to be a Motley Crue song played on my playlist at least once throughout the day, every day. Um I love Motley Crue. I love the show that ca or the, movie that came out on Netflix, like, 5 years back, I think. Maybe it could've been, like, 6 years back. It was a while ago, but to me, it seems like it was just yesterday when that movie came out. But The Dirt, if you guys haven't seen The Dirt, I don't suggest any younger people to watch that movie, but if are the age of 18 and stuff like that, or, mature, definitely go watch The Dirt on Netflix. It's a very good movie. It's basically just a whole, like, small documentary movie on Motley Crue. I mean, not all of it is, like, for real, like, what happened. Like, there's a lot of things that are left out and a lot of things that didn't happen that's in there, but it is just good to see a movie, like, about Motley Crue. Girls, Girls, Girls. My favorite album by Motley Crue is Girls, Girls, Girls. Girls, Girls, Girls is my favorite album by Motley Crue. I love that album. And the song too. I love the song too, of course. The song is also my favorite. But yeah, Motley Crue, the craziest band of the '80s. I mean, I know it's crazy that they even survived the '80s and are still alive to this day. Like, it's insane. It's sad to see that Mick Mars isn't really performing with them right now. I think they still have John 5 with them. I believe. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong because I haven't kept up with them recently, going like performance wise. But I believe John 5 is still with him. I don't think Mick Mars is with him, which it's kind of sad to see, but I mean, it is what it is. All right, my number 5, my last one, my last top 5 rock band. And my number 5 spot, it is going to go to my favorite grunge band, um, and I think, in my opinion, it's the best grunge band. Maybe versus Stone Temple Pilots, like Stone Temple Pilots, Nirvana, and then it's gonna be my number 5 that all compete, and that's gonna be Pearl Jam. I think Pearl Jam and Nirvana and Stone Temple Pilots, like they all kind of fall in that category. And then I guess you could argue like one is always going to be better than the other. Like you could say Pro Jam is better, and you can give a lot of reasons. You can say a lot of reasons for Nirvana. You can say a lot of reasons for Stone Temple Pilots, but I don't care about any of that. My favorite, my personal favorite, is Pearl Jam. I love Pearl Jam. Um, I got introduced to them when I was in high school. I mean, I've heard a lot of their songs before, but I really started listening to them when I was in high school. And I think it's just interesting 'cause I can share the connection with my dad because when my dad was in high school, Pearl Jam just came out. and it was his favorite band around that time. Like he would listen to like a lot of their songs, and he like really enjoyed Pearl Jam out of all the other grunge bands that came out around the time. So um, that's honestly probably why it's my favorite because I was just introduced to them and I heard a lot of more of their songs before I did like bands. Well, I'm gonna say I was introduced to Nirvana before Pearl Jam, but Pearl Jam really sealed the deal for me. My favorite song by them, by the way, goes to Black by Pearl Jam. If you guys haven't listened to that song yet, amazing song. Um, so make sure you guys go give it a listen. But anyways, that's going to do it. I do have two special mentions in here, and my special mention is going to go to Metallica because I was growing up listening to Metallica. I came out the womb listening to Metallica. And then another special mention is going to have to go to Seven Dust. Seven Dust. Oh my god, Brand. I'm not gonna lie to either. Like probably a year ago, I started really listening to Seven Dust, and Seven Dust got so much good music, man. There's just so much there. And they don't miss a beat. They don't miss a beat. If you guys haven't given a listen to Seven Dust yet, I highly suggest you do. Speaking of Seven Dust, actually, one second, one second, one second. I have something by Seven Dust. Interestingly enough, I have a guitar pick by Seven Dust that was thrown out into one of their concert crowds, which is given to me by my dad. So shout out to my dad for getting this for me. But yeah, I do have an actual Seven Dust guitar pick that was used at a concert that was thrown into the crowd. So there's that. That's pretty cool. I guess I can say I have. And then after this day, I just started listening to more and more and more of them, trying to figure out who the band was, and you know. But definitely, I'd suggest everybody go and listen to Seven Dust. I think it is an amazing, amazing band. I definitely should give it a try. But all right, now that we're moving on with that top five rock bands, which was our question of the day, we're gonna go ahead and move on. Let's see. Okay, so let me see if I missed anything before we head into our first subject. I don't think we did. Okay, everyone. I think I got all the comments, but if I missed anything from anyone, please let me know because I will go back and read it. If I miss any of y'all's comments again, just let me know. I apologize if I did. Like I said, I'm reading the script and also trying to talk at the same time, so sometimes I can get sidetracked. But like I said, all you got to do is let me know, and I'll try to get to you guys whenever I can. All right, so moving on from question of the day, which also leads into our music segment. There has been there had this happened a couple of weeks ago. I'm just a little late to this, but for those of you guys who don't know, going on in the rock scene or the rock scene, going on in the hip hop scene, we had Pooh Shiesty, who was recently released from jail. Um, and he's been out for 3 weeks now. But one thing I wanted to ask you guys, now that he's out and stuff, will you guys think he will make a potential music comeback? Do you guys think he is going to get involved with the music industry again? Do you guys see him dropping any more music? Do you guys see him dropping maybe a new album coming up soon? Like I said, he just got released and he was locked up for a little bit. He was involved in a shooting a year or two back or whatever, and he was locked up. So don't know too much about what happened in the shooting, if, it was initiated by him or what really happened, but we do know he was released basically essentially on good behavior. So good on him, by the way, you know what I mean? To be released on good behavior, good on him. So that means, he probably does have a good, mind set going back out into the world. Um, it would suck to see him get, locked up again, especially being after, just being released, and maybe there is some fans of Pooh Shiesty that wanna hear, some more music. I haven't heard of anything from Pooh Shiesty since the last time he did drop was, like, way back in 2021. That's, like, the last time I really listened to Pooh Shiesty, which is whenever he just came out and he was really, dropping and, he was popping around that time. But, after that, I really just didn't mess too much with his music. I understand there's a lot of Pooh Shiesty fans out there though, so I'm not trying to offend anybody. I'm just saying I really don't listen to a lot of Pooh Shiesty. But for those of you guys that do listen to Pooh Shiesty or are interested in his music, are you guys excited for what's come with his music? Do you guys think he's going to drop anything? Do you guys think he's going to work on a new album? Maybe he won't get involved with the music industry. Maybe he'll just do his own thing. But so far, since he's been released, I mean, it looks like he's living comfortable. I mean, the first thing he did when he got out was went and dropped like a couple of bands on a new watch, a new Rolex watch. So that's crazy. I wish I could just get out of jail and, go drop a couple of bands on a watch, but I can't. No, not the jail part though. I don't want to go to jail at all. Let me just drop the bands on the watch and then we'll be good. Skip the jail part. But yeah, let me know what your expectations are now that Pooh Shiesty is officially out and it seems like he has maybe a clear head on his shoulders, or do you think he'll just revert back to his old ways and eventually get locked up again? Which would be very unfortunate to see. So maybe he does work on a new album. Maybe that's what would be best for him is to work on a new album to stay out of trouble. But I don't know. You guys let me know down in the comments if you're watching after the fact or if you're watching live and you know who Pooh Shiesty is, unlike Chaos Garbage, then go ahead and let me know down in the chat. All right. Moving on to the ring, we have our boxing segment. Joseph Parker versus Fabio Wardley. Fight week has wrapped up. It has officially wrapped up. Our media week has officially wrapped up, and we are looking forward to fight night tonight. Former champion Joseph Parker will face Fabio Wardley tonight. So heavyweight WBO interim title fight. If you guys are interested in that, it is going to take place tonight. Um, I don't I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I haven't really followed either fighter before, but I am a boxing fan, so I have been following going just into fight week. Just now going into fight week, I have been following this fight. And from what I can see and from what like old footage I can see of looking back at both fighters, like I said, it's a complete different fight. You know what I mean? It's a complete different, thing. But what I'm saying is, from what I can see from all of the other fights that both fighters had, one thing that does worry me is about the fighter Fabio Wardley is, if he really does want this, I think he hopefully in camp has worked a lot on his defense. They both have very good coaches, though. By the way, I know both coaches are. They have both have very good coaches. So. But one thing I have noticed about Wardley is he tends to leave himself like unprotected, you know what I mean? A lot, a lot. If you go and watch, like, maybe some of his, clips and stuff like that, um, he's very, like he doesn't have much, like, ring you know what I mean? He doesn't it's like whenever he's in there, he leaves himself so open from what I can see, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter if he's throwing a jab or if he's just trying to set something up, he's always, you know, somehow leaving himself open, you know what I mean? Rather it's his face or it's down here, he's always leaving himself open, which, I guess seeing that kinda worried me a little bit because it's like, well, watching Joseph Parker, he looks like he can put pressure on, like, looks like he knows when to apply pressure. He looks like he knows when to counter, which is not good. If you're leaving yourself open, that's just going to be an easier target for somebody to, especially a counter fighter, is going to be a way easier target for them if you're just constantly finding ways to leave yourself open. You always got to make sure that, you got good hand placement, make sure you're guarding yourself at all times. And one thing that I've seen Wardley lacked on a little bit is just his ring IQ and maybe his like I said, leaving himself open so much going into it because leaving himself open like that, I feel like Joseph Parker is just going to land off that jab all night and then potentially just brutally end Wardley. That's potentially what could happen. That's what going into it I could see possibly happening. And Joseph Parker just looks like that guy looks like he has a lot of fire in him. He was a previous champion before. But we'll see going into this fight what happens. Like I said, it's not always good to be overconfident in yourself, and that's what it looked like. Joseph Parker, he looked a little bit like that during fight week. Leading up to it, I could tell he looked a little bit more confident than what Wardley did. Um, I guess you could say Wardley was just more, calm and stuff like that. You know what I mean? He was just more focused. But I don't know. We'll see what happens tonight on fight night. So make sure you guys go and check that fight out. It is going to be live tonight. Joseph Parker versus Fabio Wardley for the WBO interim heavyweight championship. I'm excited for it. Like I said, I don't haven't really followed either fighters before, but going into fight week, I really have started picking up on this event and just watching more of it and watching previous fights of, these guys. So that's really all about how you really get into boxing, honestly. So for those of you who are new to boxing, I highly suggest that you guys do and go check this fight out and maybe, go rewatch the recap of Fight Week. But yeah, that's official. Fight Week has wrapped up, and tonight is officially fight night. So make sure you guys go check the fight out: Joseph Parker versus Fabio Wardley. And let me know what your thoughts are and if you guys have any predictions for the fight. Moving on, we have updates from the Jake Paul versus Tank Davis fight. Both fighters have done a lot of promoting. Both fighters have done their, major promotion where they went and they did their pictures or shots for the, the event, their promotion pics and stuff like that. All that is done, which was very funny. He seemed like there was I think they had like a little short thing on there where they had like the fighters come in and it showed them taking their pictures and stuff and doing funny stuff. Very, very funny little short segment. It kind of made me laugh a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. Jake Paul does tend to make me laugh sometimes. So that was pretty funny to see. But they're doing all the promotion they can, which I'm not gonna lie, leading up, promotion going into it is I like it so far. I mean, it's very funny, very entertaining. And we've had some breakdowns released over the internet for like, the next last 2 weeks or so. I mean, Wade Plim uploaded a video where he broke down the fight and stuff like that, which I watched recently. Which I thought was a very nice breakdown of this fight going into it. And I think he could potentially be right. Maybe I think Gervonta is starting to focus more on this game plan for this fight. Like, I think he is starting to realize that this is something that he does need to actually take serious. You know what I mean? Just because it's a Jake Paul doesn't mean you don't need to take this fight camp serious. I think that's really what he's starting to do now. But I think he's doing it in a way to where he doesn't let it make it look obvious, you know what I mean? That's why he has his head down half the time, that's why he's not talking half the time, that's why he doesn't look so interested in the fight. I think that could potentially be a, I think that really could potentially be just a gateway for, Jake Paul not to see what's really going on. So, yeah, which Tank is really good at doing that. Tank is good at playing mind games. I've said this before, and his going in with that, with how good his ring IQ is, it really makes a good fighter. There's so much potential with Tank, and I feel like a lot of people say this. Everybody in the boxing scene says this, that Tank has more potential. He has so much potential, but he just doesn't work hard to show it. You know what I mean? So it could be a little irritating for Tank fans. I know a lot of them don't like to hear it, you know what I mean? They're probably gonna come in here later on and, "Oh, leave Tank alone, he's making his money, man, leave Tank alone." I don't wanna hear that, I'm just stating my opinion about it. But, going into this, we've seen some sparring footage, we've seen even a little bit of training footage from both guys. And, obviously, Jake Paul just looks the same. Heavy, big, fat ass shit, just throwing big punches like he usually does, these big looping shots that he does, so there's that. But his speed, Jake Paul is getting faster. I'm not gonna lie, I've seen it, um, from his last 3 fights going into this fight. I feel like Jake is starting to get faster, so I don't know if it's recently he's been working more on the speed aspect of things, but from what I can see, it looks like Jake is getting a lot quicker with his hands. So maybe that potentially could be something Tank needs to watch out for. I'm not saying Tank hasn't faced faster fighters than Jake Paul, but it could potentially catch him off guard a little bit. So I definitely would maybe look at that if I was Tank. Um, but I don't know. Tank looks like his camp knows what he's doing with him, and I feel like they got a good I feel like they have their game plan set for what they wanna do with the Jake Paul fight. So we'll see going into that fight night. Fight week in general is getting closer for that fight. I think we're like 4 weeks or something like that out now. So, yeah, not that long until it goes down. So let me know what you guys think of the Jake Paul versus Tank Davis fight. I know we talked about it before, but I just wanted to come in here and touch up on some things on what we know so far. Um, so yeah, other than that, that's it for our boxing segment. All right, so going into our screen picks, we are going into subject three, which is going to be horror. I actually have some things to talk about with the horror segment. So, going into this weekend, I heard of a fan film that recently came out. Not an official film, not a film that released in theaters, not a big production film like Blumhouse went and produced this movie and filmed this movie. It was none of that. This is a completely fan film. People like me and you getting together, making a big group, and really working on a big project. And this project was Halloween Aftermath. And going into this, because I don't like I'm gonna be honest with you guys, when it comes to fan films with slashers that already exist, I don't really get into them as much, but this one, I had to just because of how many people I've seen online, how many reviews I've seen of it, how many breakdowns I've seen of it, and everybody was just saying how it feels like an actual Halloween movie. It doesn't feel like you're watching some short film or some, little fan-made film. It actually feels like you're watching an actual Michael Myers movie. It feels like that. It feels like you're in Haddonfield. It feels like, you're with that terror and you're around Michael and you can feel that evil from him. And I didn't like I said, I didn't really believe it. I was like, "Okay, you know what? Maybe it could be, something that could be interesting." Like I said, I'm a big Michael Myers fan, and, we're probably not gonna have Michael back on the big screen for a little bit just because of um the Blumhouse, series just now wrapping up. They had a 3-picture signed deal to release 3 movies, which they did: Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, and Halloween Ends, and then they were done. They're not allowed to make no more movies. The rights belong to Miramax now and Mustafa Akkad again. I think not Mustafa Akkad, but his son, the Akkads. It belongs to the Akkads now. I don't know which one, but it's one of the Akkads. So all the rights went back to them. Um, so this film has nothing to really do with any of that. It has no rights, it has no nothing. It was just like I said, it was produced by a bunch of people like me and you who had the time and care to make this movie. Chaos Garbage said she liked it. That's what I'm saying. It is. It's like I said, you have to give it a chance, and it starts a little slow, but it's a very good movie. But just to give you guys a breakdown so you guys are not confused, Halloween Aftermath takes place between um Halloween so it takes place between Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends. So from after Halloween Kills, whenever Michael kills Tommy and the big mob and stuff like that, and eventually Laurie's daughter dies from Michael Myers. It takes place between that like 5-year gap, you know what I mean? Where we just didn't know what happened. Why was Michael in a sewer? What really happened? And I do like that this film, this fan film, I should also, say again, um, kind of shows what Michael was really going through around this time. And I feel like this film also like ties in with it perfectly to that franchise because during that franchise, they were trying to go back to the original Michael roots where it's like, well, Michael isn't Laurie's brother. They're not brother and sister anymore. They're not connected anymore. um, Michael is just somebody who just started killing one day. I mean, it's mysterious. He got a knife, he killed his sister, and that's what it was. And now he escapes, 15 years later, and he goes on a brutal rampage and he kills a bunch of teenagers. That's what makes it scary. It's what's supposed to make it scary. It's what's supposed to give Michael his horror, theme is that you don't know why he does it or why he's doing it. He's just going out there and he's killing with, no intent. He's just doing it. So I like that this kind of shares more of that side of Michael because in this movie, you don't have him chasing a Laurie Strode or going after anybody in the previous, um, films like 18 and Kills. It's just him going after a new group, showing that hey, he doesn't care. He just wants to kill. He's gonna get his hands on anybody he can. And I like that it does tie into David Goldenberg's series with showing, how the people are going missing in Haddonfield. You know what I mean? The film explains more on that too, because in ends, we hear that people, were going missing and people were, suddenly dying, but nobody knew what was really happening until they find out, oh, Michael's in the series, he's kidnapping people and stuff like that. But this movie really shows, what's actually going on with that, what he's really doing. And like I said, I thought it was perfect. I thought it was a very good Michael Myers movie. I honestly, like I said, there's some love that I have there for Halloween Ends, just because I like that they tried the new direction. But I really loved Halloween Aftermath more as like an ending, I guess you could say, in a way to Halloween Ends. But I haven't seen the ending yet. I literally stopped at the ending, so I haven't seen the ending yet. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. But from what I could see, Um, Definitely a better movie than what Halloween Ends was. I'm just gonna be completely honest with you, and it's sad because it's a fan film, but yeah, it is a really good movie. I love the production. I love the music. I think they did a very good job with everything. I would love to see them make another movie in the future, even if it's not about Michael Myers, but something else. But I feel like this movie is like it hits home kind it really hits kind of Never Hike Alone, how they made that Jason fan film and they had, some of the old actors come back for that. I really like, how they, did the film. So like I feel like that could be the next Never Hike Alone for the Michael Myers community, kind of like it was for Jason. What's happening in here? Welcome, Alan. Today, this is basically you're probably new here, and if you don't, if you're just gonna skip, it's okay. But this is a morning show. We basically come on here, we talk about different topics. I do it every Saturday morning, and I just come on here. I talk about boxing, gaming, skateboarding, and music, and we just talk about different things and stuff like that. So if you're interested or want to find out more, I do have a playlist on my channel called The Grading Show. If you want to watch a couple of snippets from those, just so you can get an idea. We are the community, basically. We have a bunch of people that come in here too. That I have guests that come up. I have other, people that come up and stuff like that. So, but all right. So yeah. Anyways, for those of you have not watched or want to see Michael Myers on the screen this Halloween, because there's no Michael Myers movie out, I highly suggest that you go and check out Halloween Aftermath. It is a very good film, and it's great. So make sure you guys go ahead and check out Halloween Aftermath. Very good fan film. And yeah, let's go ahead and move on. And by the way, it's free on YouTube. So if you want to watch it, it is free on YouTube. So make sure you guys go ahead and check that out. Free on YouTube, Halloween Aftermath. All right, so moving on. No Through Row 5. I told you guys I'd have a little bit more updates in the horror segment for No Through Roads 5 and basically, explain more what's going on with that. So, still writing it. uh Still during that ending part, and what I'm really struggling with is how to tie in this, like the original No Through Road story, with what I kind of wrote. That's the thing, I got it all basically written out. I have an idea of what it's going to be. I just don't know how to properly tie in my new storyline, the new things that I'm adding with the original, what I mean, how I can combine it. So yeah, but that's the only thing I'm really struggling with, but other than that, the script it's a good script. I've had other people tell me that was a good script. I've had a lot of people tell me that just a little teaser that we dropped a week ago was very great and that they loved it. Um, we had comments on one of our shorts on it that somebody said, they loved the idea as well. So it's cool that, we're starting to build this little community for No Through Road 5. But I am very excited to share it with you guys. We are still working on the script. Like I said, I'm just trying to tie in with what I worked on with the original and try to make that like a smooth transition. And I mean, just a smooth connection. So that way nobody's confused of what's going on. And so, you know what I mean? Like that. I'm trying to make it make sense with everything. So, but other than that, the script is going well. Um, I did want to talk about the teaser that we released last week. 'Cause I know a lot of people could have been confused with it on exactly what was going on because the teaser that I released it for a reason. Picked that specific script, like, section for a reason. I wanted to read you guys that for a reason, and the reason why is because, obviously, going through that little snippet that I read, it really didn't relate to anything that you heard from the original Note the Roads, and there's a reason for that. Um, there's a big reason for that, and I'm gonna share it with you guys right now. The reason why chose to do that portion of my script is because of what you heard. I mean, I introduced, this character, Stephen Kubecki, which if you guys don't know who Stephen Kubecki is actually based on a true story. Stephen Kubecki actually did go missing in Michigan. So if you guys do want to go and read the official true story on that, then you definitely can. Very interesting, just so that way you guys can kind of get a sense of what you're going to see in No the Roads 5. Definitely go and read up on the Stephen Kubecki story. Very interesting, and it is true, and that's kind of why I chose to intertwine this with our story. It kind of adds that based on a true story element back to it. Because if you, from people that don't know what Note the Road is, I always suggest people to go watch it if you don't know what it is, because that's the best way I could ever explain the series to you. I can't just sit here and tell you what the whole story and what the whole series is based on, without you going and watching it. You just have to go and watch it to figure out. And it's not even that long. I think they're like probably 10-minute long, like 10-minute long episodes of just like like 4 episodes. So, but back then a lot of people didn't know if it was real or not. Like if the first one that came out was real or not. Like they didn't know if it was real or really fake. And then after, they eventually seen it was a series and was like, oh, okay, obviously this is just like a made thing, by a couple of, a little a production company. Um, but this kinda adds back in that true story element, and that's kinda what I wanted to do with the script going into it, kinda also add back in that mysterious, like, based on a true story element, but also go along with the Note the Road story as well. But I added a lot new things to the story, I added a lot new fresher things, and I explained some things. But you guys will see when we officially have the script reveal here on the channel during Halloween, during our Halloween event. So make sure you guys stay tuned for Halloween. Um, Moving on, I do want to tell you guys it potentially also could be delayed like a day or two later, the script reveal. So I'm just letting you guys know depending on if I have everything finished, there could be a couple of things I need to tweak with and mess with, but I'll let you guys know and keep you updated through the community post. All right, moving on, we have skateboarding news. We have the 2025 Tampa AM skate finals has officially wrapped up. We talked about it last week here on the channel. We were just going into the first event day, and everything has officially wrapped up. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I really don't watch a lot of these like street skate or like park little events. I really never got into them, but recently, since last episode, 'cause I was talking about the one that took place in London, I watched that one for the first time. You know what I mean? Just kind of checking it out, not really taking it serious or watching like with the serious mindset, but I was just kind of watching, seeing what people were doing and stuff like that. And I really loved that event. And then I heard there's one going on in the city that I live in, which is Tampa. And I was like, oh, I definitely got to watch that because I've been to the Tampa skate park before. So I was like, oh, I'm definitely watching that. And to see what kind of people we have in my community showing up to the skate park. You know what I mean? So it definitely was fun to watch. I watched bits and pieces of it because, like I said, I've been working throughout the week, so I only have so much to watch things. But I have actually been keeping up with this event, and it was a really, really fun event to watch. Like, honestly, thought it was better than watching an X Games event. Like, I didn't know how fun these events really were, and things like that. Like, I love seeing the community, my community especially, going out there and hosting an event like that and having everything. It was just really fun to see. It was really cool to see, and I would love to get more involved with it as well. Could be potentially something that we see in the future. But congratulations to the winner of the 2025 Tampa Skate AM's final. The final winner goes to Abner Petro. So congratulations to Abner Petro for winning the finals of the Tampa AM Skate Finals. Um, no, she did. She skated really, really well. For somebody that just went to their first tournament and stuff like that, very, very well, very surprising. Congratulations to her. I hope she enjoys, the win and everything like that. Um, and shout out to all the other skaters that showed up and skated and stuff like that. Is very much appreciated. OMG, world's worst sister. Sorry, I'm late. No, Olivia, it's okay. It's okay. It's all right. It's all right. We still have a lot to talk about. We're just now getting into our fourth subject of the day. We've already talked about boxing, horror, music. By the way, Olivia, I shouted you out because I told everybody that you requested this question of the day today, and the question of the day was, "What is your top five rock bands?" And I already shared mine, so you can go ahead and share yours, so that way we can read them for everybody. But just to remind everybody what my top five rock albums were of the day, it goes to Guns N' Roses, Pink Floyd, Nine Inch Nails, Motley Crue, and Pearl Jam for my top five rock bands. So, which was requested by Olivia. The question of the day today was requested by Olivia. So, thank you, Olivia, for helping us out with the question of the day today. Now we gotta let her respond. But yeah, no, Tampa AM skate finals was a very fun event to watch, and for my first, like, really, like, small community skate event like, taking place, I honestly think this is better than anything like the X Games, 'cause I seen somebody on the stream say it while it was live. Somebody said, "This is what it's about. This is why it's better than all the X Games and big events," because it's just, all those guys that are up in the big X Games and in the finals and stuff like that, they've already made it. You already know where they are in their career. But these smaller guys that come out, you don't know what you're going to see. They're gonna try crazy stuff. They're gonna try something new. It's crazy. And that's why like watching one of these events for the second time going into it was very fun to watch and like a very cool event to witness. So shout out to all the skaters and all the people that put on the event. And hopefully one day we can go out to the event and maybe it'd be something that you guys would like to see. Maybe we can go out and join the event and maybe not skate because I'm not much of a skating pro, but maybe we can go out there and get some interviews and talk to people and just engage with the community. So if you guys would like to see that in the future, me go to one of these things and just hang out, let me know. And we can stream it or video it and get some interviews from some local skaters. Thank you, Dylan. I'll drop my top five. All right, let's see it. Let's see what the top five are. I'm curious. I'm curious. I gave Seven Dust a special mention because I have a pick too. I had to give them a special mention. I had to. All right. Moving on. Speaking of skate, um, for this, what you guys would want to see. If you guys have any suggestions of what you would like to see me do with the skate community and how would you would like to see me get involved more, just let me know. Like I said, I'm new to the whole skate scene, really, to be honest with you guys. So if you have anything that you want to see come out of that, just let me know. Maybe you guys can give me some tips on what I can do for content. Like I said, I'm looking for any feedback and any tips. So it is much appreciated. All right, so we got Olivia's top five right here. We are going to name, and yes, you do get a special mention, like I said. So one special mention. Technically, I had two special mentions because I had to put Metallica up there because we've been listening to them for a whole life. So that's why Metallica went into my special mentions. 'Cause I can't leave Metallica out. I just can't. All right, so Olivia's top five is going to go to Metallica, Guns N' Roses, Creed, which I didn't even think to put Creed in there, but Creed could be a part of my special mentions too. Def Leppard. We got some classical rock right there too. And then Limp Bizkit. Good band, Limp Bizkit right there. They opened up with Metallica with at their concert, which Olivia went to, by the way, here in Tampa. She went to their concert, and they even had Limp Bizkit opening up for them, which was just very, very cool. I seen a couple of videos that she, had coming back from the concert, and it was just very cool to see. Um, that is Olivia's top fives though. Metallica, Guns N' Roses, Creed, Def Leppard, Limp Bizkit, and to her special mention is going to be Pearl Jam. That is what I'm talking about right there. Gotta put Pearl Jam in the special mentions. That's what I'm talking about. Chaos Garbage says yes, Limp Bizkit is good. It's Sandbot. Lol. All right, but moving on with skate news. The official skate game has released its Halloween update. Skateoween update is here. New seasonal challenges, rewards, and let's see. So new skate update for the new Halloween update brings new challenges, rewards, including new spooky themed community parks and skate spots. Also having a seasonal theme with the skate spots. So let me know what you guys think of that. Are you guys going to be jumping in this weekend to check out the new Halloween event going on in skate? Like I said, there's been new cosmetics. There's a new pay currency, which I'm not a big fan of. That's the only thing I don't like about this update is the new, currency that we have. But other than that, I love the community parks, the little spooky the themes that we got going on. That's pretty cool. I just don't like that it's always vert stuff. It's always vert stuff that they add to the community park and it gets boring after a while. But I do love the little spooky theme that they got going on with all the ramps and the little decorations that they going on with the pumpkins and skeletons and stuff. It's pretty cool to see. And then, of course, we have the new challenges, the new seasonal challenges that you complete to get a free deck. And then with the currency, you get the currency by completing challenges and stuff. It's not really hard to earn, but then you just go and redeem your items in the item shop, I guess. So that's like I said, I don't like the new currency thing, but if that's your thing, then there you go. What else did I miss? Oh, new challenges as well. Like I said, new challenges and rewards that you can earn from these challenges. So, will you guys be playing this weekend? Have you guys already checked it out? If so, let me know what you guys think of the new Halloween update in the official skate game. Love me some Fred Durst. Love you some Fred Durst. Yes, my mom showed me songs a few years ago. What do y'all know about Limp Bizkit? Y'all don't know nothing about Limp Bizkit. Y'all don't know not Smashing Pumpkins, Matchbox 20, Candle Box are some good oldies deserve being mentioned. Smashing Pumpkins does that definitely deserves to be mentioned. Definitely Smashing Pumpkins. All right. Moving on, we have more gaming news coming from our gaming outlet. Um, Team Optic, can they win the 2027 or I'm sorry, the 2026 CDL? We know they won twice back to back in 2023. I'm sorry, in 2024 and 2025. But can they win again for a third time? I've been following Team Optic for a while. If you guys don't know who Optic is, for new you guys that are watching, Optic is a esports team that plays Call of Duty and other games like that. And they compete in different tournaments and stuff like that. They've been around since I got into gaming since 2012, maybe. I don't know. They've been around. I want to say a little longer than FaZe, if not the same around around same time as FaZe came out. So, but they officially made their comeback not too long ago, 2 years ago, when they won their first championship after a long time, and then they went on this year in 2025 to win a second championship. So they won two championships back to back, which is crazy to see now that we even have, Scump retired. Scump no longer plays because of him being retired. But to see them, win their second championship back to back, I was very happy to see because, for a while there, Optic really just fell off for a little bit and wasn't even a thing for a while. And for them to come back and, have their little, they had to, get, they had to shake the rust off a little bit coming back into it. But I feel like, they had them some, good warm up and stuff like that. But now I think Optic potentially could be back on top because the fact that they won two championships back to back. Um, could it potentially be three times in a row? Who knows? But let me know what you guys think of. Sorry, I was making sure I didn't miss any comments. Let me know what you guys think of Optic going into 2026. Do you guys think they can win this championship? Do you guys think maybe they need to change a couple of things? Are they getting too predictable? And also talking about this, I wanted to talk about how CDL is also changing because a lot of people like myself have explained this before, that CDL seems to be changing a lot with just how fast the esports industry in general is just moving quickly. I feel like it's the fastest moving industry there is out there just because of how everything's getting upgraded, new wear, new game tech, new everything is always advancing. There's always adding something new. So I feel like the CDL and like, the gaming esports side of things, it really is just something hard to keep up with. So do you think that Optic will be able to keep up with this? Do you think other esports teams will be able to keep up with how fast at the times are changing with CDL and esports? Um, there has been a big rapid change since the year 2018 going into 2020. There's just a big rapid change of how the gaming industry works. Sam, do you like Nirvana? Like I said before, Nirvana is definitely up there too. With Pearl Jam, like I said, it's one of my favorite grunge bands, but I definitely had to put Pearl Jam over them just because I enjoy Pearl Jam just a little more than Nirvana. Just personal. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of the CDL. Are you guys excited for the 2026 season? How do you think the teams are going to change based on how the CDL is changing? Do they need to adapt? How are they going to adapt to things? Um, you know, I feel like there's going to be some crazy movement added into BO7. We already seen a little bit of it during the beta, but the fact that there was jetpacks in the files, could that potentially be added? I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know, but it could be a thing. Maybe they'll add it as a score streak. That'd be crazy to see them add jetpacks as a score streak. I know maybe like three songs, but I like them. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of the 2026 season going into CDL. Are you guys excited? Do you guys think Optic is going to get it again? And if so, what are your thoughts on Optic? All right, moving on, we have Resident Evil Requiem is in 4 months. Resident Evil Requiem, I'm sorry. one of the next entries in the Resident Evil franchise is coming out within 4 months. What we know so far, we have 2 trailers released that we can go and watch, so that way, if there's any information that you guys watch, there's 2 trailers out there that you can go watch for Resident Evil Requiem. For me, personally, I haven't played a lot of Resident Evil in a while. I tried to get on yesterday and played a little bit of it, but it just wasn't really my cup of tea just 'cause I haven't played Resident Evil in a while, and I just jumped back into, like, an last saved location. I didn't know what was going on, so I didn't really get into it big time, but, let me know what you guys think of Resident Evil Requiem. Have you guys seen the trailer for Resident Evil Requiem? A new Resident Evil? Yes, there is an official new Resident Evil game releasing in 4 months. The next entry is called Requiem. So let me know if you guys are a big fan of the Resident Evil franchise, what you guys would like to see in this game. Um, maybe some predictions on what you think is gonna happen in this game. Uh, just let me know what you think. If you're how many Resident Evil fans I know Olivia's a Resident Evil fan. I know I'm a Resident Evil fan. But I am excited for Resident Evil Requiem. I seen the trailer. I love the fact that we're going back to Raccoon City, even though it's destroyed. I love the fact that we get to go back and visit. I feel like it's the best time to go back and visit Raccoon City just because we haven't visited it since the second or since Resident Evil 3, really. I mean, yeah, we had the remakes of those games, but we really haven't been canonically back in Raccoon City since 98. Or since 98. So it's cool going back to Raccoon City, especially with this new era of Resident Evil going to Raccoon City, you know what I mean? I like what they did with the franchise going into Resident Evil 7. Which one did we play a lot as kids? We played Resident Evil 0 and the original Resident Evil, but we played the remakes of them. Well, no, Resident Evil 0 wasn't remade because Resident Evil 0 was already released as, like, a prequel to Resident Evil 1 whenever the remake of Resident Evil 1 came out. Shortly after there, Resident Evil 0 came out, which is basically a prequel to Resident Evil 1. Those are the ones we played a lot, but I love both of them. Resident Evil 0 being the one with the train, that's my favorite. I love the one where we're on the train. That one is so much fun. And then, Resident Evil, the original one, which we played, the remake, is when you're in the Spencer mansion. When you walk into that big mansion, you have, like, the big corridor and stuff like that. That one's also a good one. Those are my 2 favorite ones, really. I hold those to high regards. And, of course, Resident Evil 2 yet. Resident Evil 2 is very good game. I haven't played the original, but I have played the remake. I've never played the original, Resident Evil games. None of the originals. I've only played all remakes and whatever we have now. I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. Yes, the one with the mansion, that's my favorite. Yeah, that one is good. That one is good. You know what's crazy though? Anytime I go back to play a Resident Evil game, I'm always going back to play that one. I always do. I don't know how many times I've beaten that game like now. I'm probably had to be like 7 times, but I always go back and I play that game. It's 'cause I love the atmosphere in the game. I love the story. I love the way the game is set up. I love the mechanics too. I feel like out of all the Resident Evil games, that game had very good mechanics. It wasn't clunky or nothing like that. I feel like it was far ahead of its time, to be honest with you guys, for a Resident Evil game. Yeah, no, that is my favorite. One of my favorites as well goes in there. But yeah, no, let me know what you guys think of Resident Evil Requiem. No, we're returning back to Raccoon City. We get to finish the story of Rose Winters. Are you guys happy? Are you guys excited to have Resident Evil back? The last entry we had was Resident Evil 8. We had a lot of mixed opinions on that one, a lot of mixed emotions going into that game. But I did love Resident Evil 7. I thought that was a good game. I love that they had a little soft reboot. I love that they revamped the story a little bit and they tried something new with the series. That's what I do like. So it's not like we're just in this continuous stuck loop of just zombies and Chris Redfield. It added something new and I liked it. So if you guys haven't played any of the newer Resident Evil games, I highly suggest you go and check out Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil 8. Ron likes Resident Evil 5. See, there's a lot of mixed emotions with that one too, but I personally like Resident Evil 5. I don't mind Resident Evil 5. I can play Resident Evil 5 and get on there and have a good time. You know what I mean? Like I said, other people don't like it, but that's their opinion. I can get on Resident Evil 5 and I can have a good time though. Honestly, think that's just because people don't know how to play that game. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to have fun in that game. But if you especially co-op, if you go on there on co-op on Resident Evil 5, like me and Ronald used to do, oh, we used to have so much fun on co-op on Resident Evil 5. We used to spend like hours on Resident Evil 5 co-op. That game was fun. I do like Resident Evil 5. I don't care what anybody says. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are on Resident Evil Requiem releasing in 4 months. Are you happy? What's your thoughts on it? What's your expectations? What do you want to see? What don't you want to see? All right. Let's see. But yeah, like I said, hopefully with this one too, since we're just going back to Raccoon City, hopefully they add, some new things to the story too, because I don't think Resident Evil as a franchise is ever going to stop anytime soon. I don't think we're ever gonna stop getting Resident Evil games for a while. So hopefully going into this game, they start what I mean, they start trying new things to progress the story because you can't keep beating a dead horse. What I mean? That's why they had to have that soft reboot in 2017 with the seventh game, which I thought was a very good idea. Like I said before. So doing that soft reboot, I felt really helped them. And then, we had some mixed emotions with Resident Evil 8. But at the end of the day, Resident Evil 8 is not a bad game. You can go play it and you can enjoy it. It's not, I mean, you're not going to go on there and feel like you're playing Fortnite. So that's all that matters. As long as you can get on a Resident Evil game and it not feel like Fortnite, I would say we're living golden. I would say we're living pretty good. And that's the thing. I'm not saying I hate Fortnite either. I hate that when I get on any game these days, I feel like I'm playing just another version of Fortnite. Like if I want to go play Fortnite, I'll go play Fortnite. You know what I mean? I played Fortnite when it first came out. I was a big fan of Fortnite. I'm not gonna hide it, but I don't wanna get on a skateboarding game and it feel like I'm playing Fortnite Battle Royale. I don't there's no reason why I should be playing a skateboarding game and have the same feeling of me playing a Battle Royale cartoon game, is all I'm saying. But I definitely am going to be playing Resident Evil Requiem, I could tell you that, and that is a game that I probably am gonna pre-order. I didn't pre-order the new Call of Duty, I'm proud of myself. I didn't pre-order the new Battlefield, I'm proud of myself. I didn't pre-order any of these new games that came out recently just because I feel like these gaming companies, these big greedy gaming and like corporate industry people, they just don't care about us anymore. They just care only about money, and they don't care about their older fans or their longtime fans because they're just trying to intrigue the new generations. That way they can get them to play. So, and that's with everything, by the way. That's why, a lot of people say, well, why doesn't the diehard fans ever get what they want? There's a reason why we don't get what we want because we're going to be there. We're going to watch anyways. We're going to be there regardless. We love this thing and we love this topic. We're always going to keep going back to it. So they don't need to please us. They need to please newer fans and get them intrigued with what they got going on. So, I mean, it's to be expected, but it does just suck to see. These big greedy gaming uh, corporate companies. And it is facts. It's facts. It is. It's facts. Anyways, though, as we close out our topics, what did you guys think of today's topics? What was your favorite topic of today that we talked about? Did you have any favorite topics? If so, let me know. And if I did miss anything on any of our topics, also please let me know. I don't think I missed anything, but if I did, go ahead and let me know. Let me know down in the chat. And let me know what your favorite topic was today. And before we move on to, I want to let you guys know this episode was a little shorter because today I kind of only put two things that we talked about with topics. So usually I have like three different things that we talk about in a topic. Today I only had two though, just because I didn't finish the script until last night and I was getting really tired and I already had more to tell you guys during this episode. So if you guys are wondering why it's cut a little short this morning, that's the reason why. I do apologize. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought of today's episode. What was your favorite segment? What was your favorite moments? Let me know down in the chat. If there is any feedback or info or tips that you can give me, also let me know. And if you haven't already, make sure you guys go ahead and drop a like on the episode. Did I miss anything? I don't think I missed any of y'all's chats. If so, though, let me know. Because if I did miss any chats, I am sorry. But we'll go back through and we'll read them. All right. All right, so moving on, we have I enjoyed where I enjoy what I caught, so I'll watch later. Hey, that's fine. That's fine. That's the thing. It doesn't matter when you start watching or if you're late to the episode. As long as you show up, I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? Or if you don't show up at all, maybe you're busy. Like I said, everybody has a personal life, so I understand you guys. If you can't make it out to every episode. But I do appreciate you guys if you just stop by for a little bit and say hello and, share maybe a little bit about your week. You know what I mean? You could it's all right. But I do appreciate your stopping by, Olivia. You always stop by every episode, so thank you so much. Thank you for all the support. Anyway, so moving on, we have before we close out anything, before I get onto updates and stuff like that, we have highlight of the week. You guys thought I probably forgot, but we have highlight of the week to still go through. Um, so let me know what you guys can take from the week that was positive, what you enjoyed from your week. Like I usually say, it could be anything. It could be anything. It could be from your personal life. It could be something that you saw online. It could be something that happened in a game, something that you've seen on boxing. It could be anything, anything that made your week a little better. Or let's look at the things that positive happened in our week and let's share them here, like we usually do. I will always support you. Look forward to your lives. You are doing a great job. Thank you so much, Olivia. That means a lot. It really does. That means a lot. Like I said, I'm trying and we got more to come. Anyways, moving on to highlight of the week. My highlight of the week. If you guys weren't here, for the people that were here in the beginning of the start of this episode, I talked about how I went to Spirit Halloween and I got my costume. Um, and I gotta give shout out to my fiance who took me to Spirit Halloween and let me get my costume because it's just something I really wanted in general. So I'm gonna show it off here today on what I got at Spirit Halloween and what I'm gonna be for Halloween, so that way you guys can know. I'm gonna show it off here for you guys, and this is definitely goes to the highlight of the week because I love to get in this thing. I love how good it looks. So I gotta show you guys. Maybe if I just show you like this first. Maybe if I just pick it up. As you guys can see, I got me a Halloween H2 mask, Michael Myers mask from Halloween 2, um, which is one of my favorite masks, by the way. It's definitely my top 3 favorite Michael Myers mask is the Halloween 2 mask, and that's what I have here. And I love how good it looks. I love the way the hair looks because it's hard to get a mask that has good hair. This has been my number 1 complaint since I was a kid getting masks or anything horror related. Nothing has good hair, and the reason why I don't like it when something has good hair is because I don't like it when this stuff falls out, and this stuff falls out, and it's falling out, and it's everywhere on the mask, and the mask is looking more cheaper and cheaper throughout the day. I don't like that shit. I don't like that shit. Give me something that I know is gonna stay there that I can wear and keep on my desk without hair falling off. Because some masks you could just sit down like this and not touch them, and then hair just starts falling out of its head like it has cancer or something. And I'm like, bro, what is going on? But no, this mask does look very good. It is a Trick or Treat Studios mask that I picked up at Spirit Halloween, and it does look really good. I like how a lot of people don't get this right whenever they make their mask, but I like the neck part, how they have that kind of you can tell that the white looks like it was just spray painted on there. It kind of has like that, that 78 look to it, like the 78 mask, which I like because a lot of people don't get that right with the H2 mask. They just make it all white. People got to remember, technically, the mask that we see in Halloween 2 is the same mask from Halloween 1. It does. We searched through the whole rack of masks to find the perfect one. A lot of them, the hair was messed up. Yeah, yeah, it is. A lot of the hair was just messed up on these masks. Like I was looking through the different masks because they had different ones there from the different of the movies. They had the Rob Zombie one. They had Halloween 2018. They had Halloween Ends. I think I seen a Halloween 6 mask. But the problem with a lot of these, and they had the H1 too. A lot of the problem with these though is they were just the hair was so messed up. Either the hair was all flipped up crazy, or was missing chunks of hair, and it's just crazy. And then I found this one just sitting in the back behind a couple masks that wasn't even Michael Myers masks, and I pulled this one out, and then that's where we get this one from, and I'm like, "Ooh, this one looks good." And I originally wanted a 78 mask from the original Halloween, but I went with this instead just because of how good the hair was. And again, the Halloween 2 mask is going in my top 3 favorite mask. Um, but one thing I do like also paying attention to the detail of the mask is how we have the hole right here where Laurie stabs Michael with the her knitting pin where she stabs him with it right there in the neck where they're in the little couch in Tommy's house. Um, so I think that's a very cool thing that they added to the mask, and I'm glad that they remembered to add these to the mask because obviously the H2 mask and it takes place after that happens. So I love the attention to detail where you can see the little blood hole right here where Michael gets stabbed at. And like I said again, I like how they have the dirtiness of the mask too, because in Halloween 2, the mask is a little bit more scruffled, it's a little bit more dirty because Michael just fell off the balcony and stuff like that. So you can kind of see where they have the little, I mean, they have it to where the mask it looks a little more like it went through a little bit of hell right there. You got some dirt right here, like you got some dirt marks on the ears and right up here on the face and stuff like that. But it is just a really good mask. I love the mask. The only complaint is, I'm gonna go ahead and put it on for you guys. The only complaint is it's a little too big for me, but I always had this problem with masks since I've been a kid. So I'm quite used to it, and it kind of looked like Dick Warlock with this thing on. I honestly kind of looked like Dick Warlock with it on, how he did in Halloween 2. But I don't know. I mean, I guess it don't look too bad right now as I'm sitting down. It's making me look like a liar. But usually when I get up and I stand up and I have it on, it just it looks a lot more big on me like this, and I feel like I look like Dick Warlock, literally. So I guess it's a good matching that I do have this mask when I wear it for Halloween because I'm gonna look awkward with it because it's so big on my face. But I'm not the only one because the man who wore the mask, it was also big for his face too. The person who played Michael in Halloween 2, the mask also didn't fit his face. They had to hold it up with like extensions in the back and stuff like that just to hold the mask together over his head because his head was just too small. Um, I guess Nick Castle has a fat ass head. I guess that's what we can take from that. I'm just joking. Shout out to Nick Castle, my favorite Michael Myers. You just need the suit and tuck the base of the neck. Yeah, that's it. That is it. I was thinking about that too. I was just like, well, once I get the suit and I get the jumpsuit, all I have to do is, pull the collars over and just tuck the neck. And then maybe even like if it's a little even still too big, I can just clip it right there. But I'm not too worried about it. It's nothing I'm too worried about. But other than that, I do love the mask. It's a very good mask. But yeah, there it is, my Halloween 2 Trick or Treat Studios mask. And then right now, I kinda just have it holding my hat or just sitting up over there right now, but yeah, that is my H2 mask, and I think I have one more for highlight of the day. Um It has also been announced, and I found out this week that a Rush concert is coming to town next year where I'm staying. We have a Rush concert coming up, which I could potentially be going to. I might go to this Rush concert. Um, but they will be in town next year, I believe it was. Me and Olivia here, that's also in the chat. We've been keeping up with it. But it was announced in last episode. I wore a Rush shirt, and it was funny because we had somebody come up in there. And I was like, "I bet you can't name one Rush song," and we named like three. It's funny now that we have a concert coming up by them though, because Rush is again, one of my favorite bands. It's not in my top 5. I don't top 5 them or anything, but I definitely give them their flowers. They have one of my favorite songs produced by them, Tom Sawyer. I mentioned this in the last episode. Tom Sawyer and Limelight, my 2 favorite songs by Rush, which would be just amazing to see live in concert. And I mean, I know a lot of these guys are older now, but honestly, I really don't care. I just wanna see it would be amazing to see that song live in concert for the first time, probably my only time, and to be able to say that I've seen Rush live in concert. But yeah, they are going to be at Amalie Arena here in Tampa, Florida, next year, November, I believe. I know it's November. I just don't know if it's this year or next year. I want to say it's next year though that they are coming. But they are on tour. They will be going on tour soon, and they will be coming to Tampa, Florida, which again, hopefully I will be attending. We'll see what happens, but we potentially will be attending that concert, the Rush concert. So very excited for that. I was very excited to hear them announce that they are coming back for a tour. And yes, it is. We get more insight from Olivia. She says she believes it's November 9th, 2026. So it definitely is November 2026, but the day we're not too for sure on, but it's possibly the 9th. So, but you guys can go do your research, check up, just go and Google Rush tour concert, and it should show you all the locations and dates like that. But they are coming here to Tampa, Florida, and I'm very excited that they're coming to my hometown. And yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Um, anyways, if you guys have not yet shared your highlight of the week, please do make sure you guys share your highlight of the week. I am here to read whatever. I want to know what you guys did this week and what your positive things were that happened throughout the week. So yeah, let's see what y'all's answers are down in the chat or comments if you're watching after the fact. Did I miss anything in chat? I don't think I did. We got 3 viewers. Shout out to Chaos Garbage and Olivia, and shout out to, let's see who our other top fan is of the day. Shout out to Corey Lawrence for our top fans of the day. So shout out to you guys. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. It is much appreciated. My highlight of the week was finding out that Rush went on tour. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm glad that's your highlight too. I'm very excited about that. Very excited that all of these bands are starting to come back and do their tours and stuff like that. It's nice to see. Even if they're getting a little older. You know what I mean? I really don't mind. I'm big fans of these guys. I love to see anything that they do, and I'm going to be there to support these guys with whatever 100%. Obviously I won't be biased, but with this I support it. Moving on to updates off the grind. We have a couple of updates to go over today with you guys, things about the channel. A positive thing is that we woke up this morning and we have a lot to be grateful for. Exactly. Every morning we wake up, there's something to be grateful for. We're alive, we have family, um, and things could always be worse. That's one thing that always makes me think of life positive, and how I always stay positive is I always tell myself things can be worse, because they truly can, in any situation. You know what I mean? Anything could always be worse. So I always tell myself, well, at least that was just the worst of it, you know what I mean? And I try to stay positive, you know what I mean? That's why I do this highlight of the week, so I can take something positive that happened throughout my week and talk about it, instead of thinking of something that happened throughout the week that really affected me and I feel like it's going to, have an effect on me. I don't like to think about those things. We like to take things positive, and we like to see what we can gain from them. It's all about positivity around here, you guys. All about positivity. All right, so a couple of updates for the channel, because I've had a lot of suggestions recently, because I've asked for info, I've asked for feedback from a lot of people. I've gotten some, and like I said, I'm really just trying to grow this community. I'm really trying to get better at everything that we do here on the community, through my other platforms, social medias, here on YouTube, wherever it is. I'm really trying to get better um, with it. And, I know there hasn't been much improvement seen recently. Like I said, I'm still working on things. I'm still trying to get used to my new schedule. I'm still trying to figure things out as I go. But we are going to get there. But just know I am planning on things. I am working on things. I'm trying to figure out more ideas to make things better here throughout our community. So just know I have not given up, and we are still working on everything. But one thing I am working on is shorter content. I had a lot of requests coming in from people that they want to see shorter content on my channel. Like I used to do, where I used to go back and just post like maybe 10-minute videos here and there. You know what I mean, explaining something or doing something, that I like to do throughout my day. Um, which I do want to say I am going to be working on shorter content. That means shorts, maybe some TikTok clips, maybe something on Instagram and stuff like that. I am going to be posting here more and there. I'm going to try to reach out to different platforms now. It is going to happen though. Expect more shorter content. I promise you guys, it is going to happen. I just need to figure out what I'm going to do for this content and how I want to do it with the style that I want to go with. Um, so as we go through that though, bear with me guys. Like I said, we're here live every Saturday morning. So if you have any questions or ask for any updates, let me know, because I can give them to you guys. But we are working on shorter content. Yes, I have a lot planned, and keep an eye on my shorts, by the way, on my shorts on YouTube, because I will be posting more shorts on there. Highlights throughout my streams and shows and stuff like that. So stay tuned for that. And again, if you guys have any more tips or info or any feedback you guys want to give me, go ahead, don't be afraid to share it, you know what I mean? If there's something that you see that could be better here on the channel, go ahead and, let me know, because like I said, that's all I'm trying to do is improve this stuff, and yeah, I'm not afraid of a little feedback. Yes, it will help your growth, for sure, for sure. Shorter content does do better. I wanted to start this morning show as really just something for me to get comfortable again being on camera and talking to people and seeing my face and stuff, which we are getting to that point. And I kind of just wanted to revive the channel a little more, which I want to say we are doing a very good job on. I want to say that we officially revived my YouTube channel. As you guys know, I was stuck in like the 187 subscribers mark for a while, and then now we're just now posting again. We're starting to get active again here on this channel and through our community again, and it has been going very well so far. So I want to say thank you to everybody who has been coming out and showing support. It means a lot. Couldn't do this without you guys. So the fact that I was able to revive my dead YouTube channel without posting anything hardly ever was just amazing, and I couldn't do it without you guys, without y'all's love and support. So all this really goes to you guys. You guys did all this, so you guys should be proud of yourselves because we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys. So thank you to everybody that comes out here and shows support. I don't care if you're family, friends, random people that are just coming on to, are just new to the community. I don't care who you are. Thank you to everybody because it's every single one of you that allows me to come on here and be able to do this stuff. So thank you. Um, Another thing I wanted to talk about is expanding and working on my revamp for Team Ghost. A lot of people have been asking me about that, especially since I did my Teamversity reunion, which if you guys haven't did check that out yet, we have done our reunion. I'm gonna get my thoughts about that here soon. Um, but I had a lot of people say that they want to, see more from the team and what's going on with it. But I am, like I said, I am still working on this team. It is a lot. The reason why you really don't hear a lot about it is because this is not like anything I've worked on before. This isn't like an esports team that I had before in the past. This is a whole new project that takes a lot more time because of everything that we want to do with this team. So this team, unlike my other esports team, it's gonna need funding. It's going to need a lot of time put in it. We're gonna need people to actually help work on this team. So that's why we really haven't done much yet, just because we're moving in the shadows right now, just so that we can get everything ready. But once we have the ball rolling on everything, that's when we will see more announcements. That's when you'll see more promotion going into the team. But as of right now, still planning, still working on the revamp. Um, I got to get people to help me work on this too. I'm trying to reach out to people throughout the community that I know to help possibly work on it. So, stay tuned for that. Uh, but, this team is really different from anything I've worked on because of, the whole boxing promotion that's with it, the whole esports team that we have going on with it, and, the content creators, streamers, and, potentially coming into this new era of Team Ghost. One thing that I have brought in is we're going to start doing things with skaters. So we're going to start indulging more into the skate community with Team Ghost as well. So if you guys are just wondering why everything's taking so long and why it's not expected to be really off the ground until next year, that's why. There's just so much that's going to go into this, and I don't want to rush anything. I really don't want to rush it and bring you guys something that's half-assed that's never going to go anywhere. I'd rather take my time to work on this and launch it with a good foundation, and so that way it could survive and build a community, more of a bigger community. So, anyway, stay tuned for Team Ghost though. We are going to have a lot more, teasers and stuff coming out on the Instagram. That's the best place you can get updates for Team Ghost, by the way, is on Instagram. So I highly suggest that you go follow our Instagram at Team Ghost. And if you guys have any tips or feedback for Team Ghost, let me know as well, because I could also use some tips for that. Okay, updated post schedule. I am going to have an updated posting schedule that I'm working on just because recently I ditched my schedule that I recently came up with just because of the whole new job thing and having a second kid and stuff like that. Things have been a little crazy. So the schedule I had before is going to change a little bit, but I do want to let you guys know we are going to have a new schedule here on the channel. So that way you guys will know for sure when we're going to do the show, when I'm going to post, when I'll be streaming, when I'll be producing videos or whatever I'm doing, you guys will know. So stay tuned for my new schedule. I will go ahead and I'll post that within my community tab on YouTube. So make sure you guys keep an eye out for that. Always keep an eye on my community tab. There's gonna be different things there every week. There's probably things you could go on my community tab right now, and there's probably things that you haven't seen from my channel yet. So make sure you guys go check out my community tab. There's a lot of things on there. Um, so yeah, moving on. Special thanks again. I want to give a special thanks to everybody for my 200 subscribers. Um, like I said, it means a lot. I couldn't do this without you guys. And with that, I want to bring you guys a 200 subscribers special. It's official that I am planning and I am working on my 200 subscriber special. And for this 200 subscriber special, it's going to be a little special and a little different because we're going to have two specials for the 200 subscribers. Way back when I hit 100 subs, I never did a 100 subscriber special. I think I wanna say I came out with a montage and that was it, but I never really did anything too big for it. So I do wanna come out and do 2 subscriber specials for you guys. So stay tuned for that. I got something very funny planned for this 200 subscriber special. I think you guys are gonna love this one. I think you guys are going to laugh. And for Olivia, definitely for Olivia, this one is going to hit way close to home whenever you guys see it. I have a very special, funny idea planned for you guys for this 200 subscriber special, and it does involve me doing a skit. I will be doing a skit of what? Who knows? But it's going to be very funny. Maybe a little awkward for me to do, but I don't care. I'm going to do it for you guys, and I've already made my mind up, and it's going to be completely funny. And it's going to hit close to home for me and Olivia, probably. So, more on that later. But for my second subscriber special, I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I'm thinking about doing a community stream, which is most likely going to happen. A community stream, and then maybe like a little party set up in a Discord server. So stay tuned for that, and I'll keep you guys updated. But yeah, special. Thank you guys so much for the 200 subscriber special. It means a lot. Okay, so thoughts. My thoughts on the Team Versity and PNX reunion. Um, Now, obviously, the reunion wasn't as big or as, what I really wanted it to be, but it was my first event that I hosted myself in a long time. So the fact that I was able to do it and I had people come out and at least show up and, be there for the event was very nice. And we had a lot of people tune in for it too. We had a lot of people that were interested in it. I talked to a lot of people in the community this week that I haven't talked to since my 2021 days, and the fact that I reconnect with a lot of these people were just amazing. So one thing I will say, because of the Team Versity and PNX reunion not being so big, we had Chronic and we had Focus come back on there. For you guys that don't know who they are, if you guys are familiar with any of my older content, you guys might know who they are. But they were a couple of people that I were in a team with. We were kinda like the group. Us 3 were kinda like the group that ran everything, so it was kinda cool that we had all 3 key members on there. But, it was a very fun event. If you guys haven't watched the stream for that, make sure you guys go check it out. But for the other guests and other ideas that didn't happen or that didn't happen on that reunion, I am going to be doing more with those people. I'm going to have more guests up that were from Team Versity and PNX, that way they can have a chance to come on and talk about what they wanna talk about. And as of just everything, we are going to have more guests and more ideas here on the show. There's a lot more that I want to add. Kind of like not topic wise, but kind of like how we have question of the day and highlight of the week. And now that we have the new thing I just introduced, updates off the grind, which is going to go through all the updates that we have from the week. That could be from our community and stuff like that, or from the other communities or other topics that we talked about and stuff like that. We are going to be updates off the grind here every week where we talk updates about the community and about topics that we talked about in the past. So there is a new segment here on the channel that I'm going to introduce just now. But we are going to have more. We're going to have more ideas. We're going to have more guests come up on the show and talk as well. So stay tuned for that. Yeah. Other than that, though, I think that's all the updates that we have. If you guys would like to share down in the comments, maybe tips, info, or maybe just want to chat a little more, you are free to now. We are also reaching the point in the episode where if you guys are listening or watching and want to come up and talk on the show, you can via X Space. If you guys want a chance to talk to me or come up on the show, the best place to do that is over on Twitter, formerly known as Twitter, but now X. We are also here live every day as or not every day, but every weekend too. We also do this show live here on X. But if you guys want to and listen one day on there, you guys can because it's pretty cool. Because here at the end of this episode, during this segment, I'll let you guys come up and speak and give your thoughts on the episode. So if you guys ever want to do that, make sure you guys go ahead and check me over on X or Twitter. But other than that, though, thank you guys for stopping by. What did you guys think of today's episode, and what would you like to see going into the future? Again, thank you guys so much for the support, and all the likes that we've been getting and all the subscribers. I appreciate it, and like I said, I couldn't do it without you guys. And if you guys would like to, I highly suggest going and joining my Discord server. It is going to be linked in my channel bio for my Discord server. If you guys would like to go and join there, so that way you guys can keep updated with the Team Ghost stuff and with my community, the grading community. We have our little corner in there as well on the space or on the server. So for any updates, channel updates, episode updates, anything kind of updated or correlated to me, I highly suggest that you guys go and join the Discord server. And so that way maybe you guys can conversate with each other too. You know what I mean? I'm trying to build this community where we can all talk. So make sure you guys go and join the Discord server to join the community. Like I said, I highly suggest it. The link is in my channel bio. Also make sure you check me out grading at on other platforms. I have that all in my bio as well if you need to know where to find those. But it's literally my handle grading everywhere on socials. So if you guys would like to go and check me out on my socials and other platforms where you can stay updated and see other exclusive content that won't be posted here, make sure you guys go check out the other socials. It is much appreciated and that's the only way that we're gonna grow. So I appreciate you guys. Just a suggestion, you should talk about Stranger Things 5 next episode. Definitely, definitely. If that's something that you would like to see, I'll add that to the next topic then. I will talk about Stranger Things 5 next episode. I'm very excited for for Stranger Things 5. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of died out of the Stranger Things for a little bit, but seeing the trailer for 5 and stuff and having that crazy ending to 4, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't intrigued. I'm very intrigued to see what's gonna happen next in Stranger Things. I can't wait for this final season. I might have to honestly rewatch all of the seasons, Joe, just to get caught up, so that way we can go into season 5. But it never gets old to me. I love Stranger Things. I've been a Stranger Things fan uh, for a while now. I want to say since season 2 I started watching. So yeah, because getting closer to coming so out, so it's perfect timing, I think. Definitely perfect timing, you're right about that. But no, I'm excited for Stranger Things 5. I can't wait for this epic ending, and I really can't wait to see how the ending's going to end. Um, I don't think we're going after it ends, I don't think it's not like we're ever gonna hear of the Stranger Things universe again. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have spin-offs. I'm pretty sure they'll probably do, like, a little movie or something, which is just interesting. My idea for a spin-off, though, is do Stranger Things again, but do it in 20 like, in present day. Make make the Upside Down and the Demogorgons and stuff like that return, but in present day, and make all the older kids, like Will and Mike and all the people that survived, like, make them older and see what they're doing in their lives, and then see them have to come back and battle the Upside Down one last time. But we get to see them older with their kids in present day and to see what they think of present day. Like, that'd be really cool to see, really cool. Kinda gives me, like, that same idea off of, like, It. I recently watched It again this week, and how, like, you have part 1 and part 2, how they're kids and they grow up and they come back later as adults. Something like that. That would be very cool to see, but for Stranger Things. I would love to see that. Charles Garbage says, "I was a fan when people thought it was cringe. When it first came out, I watched it, I loved it." OG of Stranger Things right there, hell yeah. Like I said, I'm not gonna lie to you guys though, like, the love for Stranger Things recently has died down for me. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, but watching the trailer for episode 5 really did spark something back up. I was like, "Okay, nah, I gotta finish it. I got to. I have to finish it. I can't not finish it." That would be a good idea. I didn't watch it when it first came out until season 3 came out, but once I did, I was hooked. Yeah, no, it's like I said for me too. I wanna say I started watching during season 2, whenever season 2 not first came out, but I think that's the only 2 seasons was 1 and 2, and I was hooked. Like, that was it. The first episode, like, the first 2 episodes, I was like, "Eh, alright," and then going on, I just could not turn off the TV. I was, like, hooked every different episode. Like, I was just hooked. I could not stop watching. And I'm just excited now that they are going to have the final season. But I'm also glad they didn't drag it out either. If you guys think about it, like a lot of people say Stranger Things was dragged out. It really wasn't. It only had 5 seasons. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like they did very good with the storytelling aspect, and I highly doubt they're gonna do a terrible job with this season. You know what I mean? So I don't know. But I really think this is where they need to end it, and I think they're going to end it perfectly. I guarantee that this is going to be the best ending to any show that you've ever seen. I guarantee it. Doesn't matter how short it was, how short-lived it was, or if you think it went on forever. I think it's going to be a perfect ending. I guarantee it. But I think it's also going to leave a little bit of room for spinoffs. You know what I mean? Like, bring their story to an end, but make room for future spinoffs throughout the universe. You know what I mean? Keep it within the same Stranger Things universe, but we get to explore maybe a little more. Maybe you can even go back more in time and explain things. But I definitely am more intrigued with the whole going forward in time aspect of things. That'd be really interesting to see. Anyways, though, I do appreciate everybody for coming out. Make sure you guys, if you have not already, drop a like. And if you are new here, if you like what you see, drop a subscribe or hit the subscribe button as well. It helps me out a lot. It helps out our community and it helps out this channel. It helps us grow. So that is much, much appreciated. And it will bring a smile to my face, guaranteed. So thank you guys for tuning in. Um, and if I missed anything, or if you guys have any last thing to say, hit the bell. Make sure you guys hit the bell icon so that way you can stay updated every time we post here on the channel, being community posts, YouTube videos, short streams, the grading show, whatever it is. If you guys want to stay informed for when I go live, make sure you guys hit the bell icon so that way you guys are notified whenever I post. Yes, tell your friends and family about the channel. So share it to everybody. Share it to your dog's cousin. Share it to all your friends in school. Share it to your teachers. Share it to all your family. Show it to your grandma. Um, whatever you got to do. Dig out your great dead grandmother and just show her the stream. Whatever you got to do. Make sure you guys spread the love and your coworkers. Yes. Anyways, though, I love you guys to death. I appreciate you guys for coming out. And I think that is going to be it for today. If I missed anything, let me know. Other than that, though, thank you, Olivia, again for coming out. Shout out to all our top fans today, Olivia, Chaos Garbage, and let me go up. Corey Lawrence. Thank you guys for tuning in today, and thank you guys for being top fans of the day. So shout out to you guys, and I appreciate you guys for stopping by. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.